about comics. Let's talk about comics. Let's talk about comics. Let's talk about comics.
Harambe YouTube, it is Uncleared here, and today I want to talk about Honor and Curse Eternal, number 3 from Mad Cave Comics. This is part of the Underworld universe, which includes Revolution 9, Exit City, and another book that I am not currently reading. What is that book called? Hour of the Wolf. I really enjoyed this. The first that I heard of Honor and Curse was actually issue number 1. And I read issue number 1 of Honor and Curse Eternal, and I think I maybe done a review on it. But I felt like there was a lot more lore that would make me enjoy the story more, so I went back to the original story, Honor and Curse. They put out, I think, like 12 issues a couple years ago. I bought volumes 1 and 2, and I think I read through both of them in like 1 or 2 sittings. Great books. They're about this samurai Genshi who was imbued with this Tengu, this like demon type entity that possessed him, that made him pretty much immortal, and it gave him, but it was also very destructive entity inside of him. And the first 2 books would take place in feudal Japan 600 years ago, and yeah, I didn't know what to expect. I'm like, okay, well, this takes place now in this current comic universe, but how are you going to make it make sense? But they really do. This Tengu inside of Genshi has kept him alive in over 600 years since the first 2 volumes of Honor and Curse. He has learned to cage this in the back of his mind. And while he has built up power and resources during this time, he has secluded himself and hidden himself away from society because he deemed himself too dangerous with this Tengu inside of him. And so that's where we meet in Honor and Curse Eternal. Number 1 is him in the future, and he's running this big security firm, and he's hearing that, people tied to his to his village back in Japan, that the village has been destroyed, people have been kidnapped. There's some entity, some group going after the people that he is taking care of over the last 600 years. And so he's using all his resources that he can, but eventually his hand is forced and he steps back into action. And that is where Honor and Curse Eternal number 1 comes into play, is him tracking down these kidnapped people that had been caught in the crosshairs. This outside force we find out they're trying to draw him out in number 2. And in number 2, he's faced with a choice of keeping this powerful entity caged up or letting loose. And it becomes, in issue number 2, a choice between, does he die and let the people that he's charged with taking care of die, or does he let this power loose? And boy, does he. And boy, is it awesome. And I think that they did a remarkable job of tying the story from 600 years ago to the present, doing a big time jump and making it all work together. But not just that, inside of a larger shared universe. Put me here. And I'm currently reading both Exit City and Revolution 9. And so a lot of these things that we're hearing about, the technologies company that he's dealing with, that one that had actually hired these people is a company that I am familiar with from the series Exit City. And then we find out that the people who dispatched all of this chaos on Genshi was a group, an order called the Order of Nine, Who are the Order of Nine? They are an ancient Roman sect of assassins, and they are the driving force in Revolution 9. And so when I saw the Order of Nine, I'm like, oh, this is where it's tying in. And he's going to question one of the Order of Nine. But if you follow my reviews of Revolution 9, number 5, where it picks back up, we would know that the protagonist in that, Velveteen, she is on a mission to destroy the Order of Nine. And so when Genshi finally meets one of the, finally finds out where one of these Order members are and breaks in, he is attacked by this silhouette of a female assassin who was matching his power even with the Tengu inside of him. And then when she finally comes to light, we see that it's the protagonist from Revolution 9, Velveteen. And they're both, kind of going at it, battling to a stalemate. And, they're trying to communicate to each other that, I'm not the bad guy. I don't want to kill you. I don't want to. And they finally get to the issue of the boss man, and then she wants to interrogate him, but Velveteen, she skips interrogation altogether, and I guess you could say she interrogated him with a bullet, which leaves Denshi in a bad place because he wants to know, who is this Order of Nine? Why are they after him? How much power do they have? Who is in charge? What is going on? And so we have the last few pages of her kind of breaking down the lore of the Order of Nine and getting him clued in. And, we find out that if you read Revolution 9, the first 4 issues, she was assisted by a guy who now needs protection, and Genshi's going to use his firm to protect her contact, and was going to give Genshi the information on the Order. And it's kind of this meeting of the two protagonists of these books, and they leave in amicable but tense terms. Kind of you don't want to see me again. And so I thought that this was a very cool issue. It finally combined two of the major protagonists in this world. And now I'm looking forward to seeing how Exit City comes into this. Are the protagonists from Exit City going to be dealing with Genshi or Velveteen, or what's going to happen there? So I'm very excited about that. And Mad Cave Comics, they've been doing some real good stuff. And I've enjoyed the first book I read of theirs was Crush Depth, that came out last year, and everything I've read from them since has been top notch. And I mean, we're talking books like Honor and Curse, which are samurai stories, to Exit City, which is like a futuristic cyberpunk story, to Revolution 9, which I've described as Nikita or La Femme Nikita-esque, and even like Florida Cocaine Hippopotamus Massacre, which is a very stupid, very tongue-in-cheek, shoot 'em up, ridiculous tale. They have the whole gambit of story told from Mad Cave Comics, but whatever they do, they put 100% into, and they make sure that the story is solid, the art is memorable, and it's something that's going to make you want to keep turning the page. So that's my thoughts on Honor, Curse, Eternal number 3, part of the Underworld universe. Check it out, and I really suggest going back and checking out the first 2 volumes of Honor and Curse if you are a fan of samurai stories that take place in feudal Japan. It has a very fun story. You get to see Genshi as a young man, not this older, secluded, angry, jaded, warhorse. You get to see him as a hopeful, youthful young man who is, still not quite sure what this Tengu is and how it's going to really tear apart his life, and how he struggles with balancing that curse inside of him and living honorably. And you see him go from, a samurai in training. By the time we get to the last issue, he is this powerful entity. And we get to see characters too, and especially issue number 1 of Honor and Curse Eternal, of characters that you saw in volume 2 as well, familiar character in that. So check those out. And if you like the content, let me know in the comments down below. And if you like to contribute, you can buy me a coffee with the QR code on screen. But the most important thing you do is watch, like, subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Until then, keep reading books. I will. I'm out.